Hello and welcome here to MoreTalkFCB and welcome back to the channel this evening, guys, to a video right here that I did not expect to make, nor did I want to, because we are going to be talking today about the exit of Frenkie de Jong. Yes, Frenkie de Jong leaving Barça. It is coming right up. Let's do it. Because first of all, guys, I want to make it absolutely clear that the information this evening, the big breaking news, is coming from Gerard Romero, who in Spain and of course in Barcelona is widely regarded now, especially since Laporta returned to office, as one of, if not the most reliable sources when it comes to the club. He often receives big information before it's officially announced, and could that again have happened here? Because this evening, Gerard Romero announced that Barcelona have 95% closed the deal to sell Frenkie de Jong. He says that Frenkie this summer will be sold to Manchester United, reuniting him there with his former coach at Ajax, Erik Ten Hag. Romero goes on to say that Barça will receive between 70 to 80 million euros for the deal, and like I say, he is 95% certain that it will happen. Of course things can change, and of course there may be some big turnarounds. We're going to be discussing that, but as it stands, de Jong, he is leaving. And before we do get into all of the reaction, and there is a lot to this news, and indeed the possibility that de Jong will leave Barca, what I do want to first of all do is just explain here this story in a bit more detail, going into some of the specifics of what Gerard Romero said in terms of the thinking process behind selling de Jong, at least from Barca's point of view. Because he went on to say there that basically on one side of this sale, it's based on economic circumstances, that Barca feel they need to sell a big name before June the 30th. Before that date, Barça need to have a big influx of cash in order to raise funds for the summer transfer window. And Barça felt as though, out of all the players in the past, we have heard Pedri linked with a big exit, with maybe Araujo linked there, with raising cash, but no, they have decided that it will be de Jong. He is the player who must be sacrificed this summer. Along with the economic side, Gerard Romero says that the club feel that based on performances throughout this season, and indeed his time at the club inside of Barca, they believe that Frenkie has not lived up to the expectations that were made of him when he arrived from Ajax in 2019. And as a result of that, Barca feel as though now is the time to capitalise and sell de Jong, because they say that if de Jong continued for one more season in this way, and if the player did not perform, Barca would never receive a transfer offer like this again, and they felt as though they had to take this chance. And look, guys, I've got to be honest with you, right here and now, when we've listed out those reasons there, when we're talking about the reports that we are hearing, I've got to be honest and say, my head is spinning. I am sat here right now, going well into the night, and I'm stunned by this. I cannot get my head around the fact that de Jong, he's going to be sold. That looks like it's going to happen. 95% sure there. Yes, Gerard Romero says maybe things could change, and of course they can in football. Anything can change. But still, to be this far down the road of a sale of Frenkie de Jong, I know we've heard rumours. We've heard rumours now linking him with exits for week upon week upon week. But did I think it would happen? Did I really think that we would say, yeah, you know what? Out of all the players, de Jong, we're going to sacrifice him. That is a huge shock for me. And I think there's so much to consider here. And especially right now in the emotion of it all. The first thing you'd look at is the transfer fee. Do you feel as though 70 to 80 million euros, Man United paying that kind of money? For me, you've got to get more than that. You know, I know that right now, of course, people are trying to spend as little money as possible in the window. But for a player like de Jong, I think he can command a higher value than that. You look at what they paid for Harry Maguire, for Jadon Sancho, for example, and Barca here settling for 70 to 80 million euros. We signed him from Ajax there for 75 million up front, with the potential of 11 million in add-ons. That was back, of course, in 2019, 3 years ago now, and we may actually sell him for a loss. That, for me, is the first thing that you have to look at. And then, of course, it's about performances. Then, of course, it's about out on the field, what de Jong can give us, the quality of the player that he is. Now, the first thing that I would openly say is, since de Jong has come in, has he, for me, fully lived up to the expectations? Honestly, guys, I think we'd have to say No, he hasn't. Now, I don't fully put the blame, by the way, at his door. I think since he's arrived at Barcelona, it's been another classic case of buying a big name, a phenomenal player with huge talent, but failing to utilise them, never really giving them the platform, the position to play their best football. Now, I've got to admit that I thought Xavi would find that player, would bring the best out of De Jong, and I also thought, crucially, that he'd have the time to do it. We hear all the time about how Xavi wants to keep De Jong, how much of a unique player he is in midfield, and I'm very, very surprised here that Xavi is allowing him to go. Now, whether that decision has been taken away from him, whether Xavi had any say at all in this, we don't know. Maybe he was told, look, there's nothing we can do. We've got to sell someone. We've got to get some money in. The finances say we have to, so I'm sorry, but I'm taking this player away from your squad. And I would imagine that Xavi right now would be so unhappy. And then it's Frenkie himself, because I have to admit right here and now as well, I am very surprised that he's accepted this deal. Because yes, of course, if Barca want to sell you, if they're looking for offers, if there's people out there who want to take you on, the opportunity is there. But still, the decision, it does lie with Frenkie de Jong. He has the final say. And of all the clubs maybe where he could have gone this summer, I am surprised that he's accepted United's offer. I can understand that he wants to link up with Erik Ten Hag. Those two did phenomenal things at Ajax. I can perfectly get that. But you look at it next season, no Champions League football for Frenkie. He's a player that deserves to be playing in that competition. And I am surprised that he would be willing to make that move there to the red side of Manchester. And I just can't believe it. I am in complete and utter shock right now that we are willing to sacrifice De Jong. That is a huge decision. And at this point, guys, we've got no idea how this is going to work out. Of course, many of us are thinking, you know what, De Jong is going to go away now. He's going to show his quality. He's going to become one of the best, if not the best midfielders in the world. But of course, we don't know that. We cannot see the future and we cannot guarantee that's going to happen. But the one thing that I would say is, I think all of this does depend on what we do with the money. Because actually, in the current market, I would have liked more, but 70 to 80 million, it is a significant amount. We are, of course, in a financial crisis. We can't forget that. But it all depends on what the plan is now. We know that we have good midfield players. We have Pedri. We have Gavi coming through. Busquets is still there. But we do need that replacement. Now, for me, it does seem as though we are very much aware that Barca don't have a replacement for Sergio Busquets. Now, when Frenkie came in, it was believed he would take over that mantle. But it hasn't happened. And Barca clearly believe that wasn't going to happen. So now the question would be from me, are we going to go out and properly reinforce that area? Do we have someone in mind now that we can take that money and use it to strengthen this squad? Because I'll tell you now, it is no good whatsoever selling De Jong, bringing in big money, but then doing nothing at all with it. It's all good and well raising funds. I know that we need to balance the books. I know these are big wages, leaving our wage bill. But if you don't strengthen your squad, you won't win. You won't get titles. You won't get sponsorship. You will not get prize money. Your club will disappear. We cannot afford to stand still this summer. And if we are sacrificing Frenkie de Jong, a player of his quality, you need to back that up. You need to have a plan, and you need to use this money to strengthen this squad. There is no doubt in my mind about that. And of course, guys, what I really do need to know, and what I'm asking for from you right now, especially in this state of shock, especially with the emotions that are flying around right now, I don't think any of us truly deep down expected this news. What I need from you is down below, how are you feeling? Trying to sit back, trying to take everything into account, trying to be as balanced and reasonable as possible. But what do you make of this deal? The way that it's structured, the way that it will see De Jong leave the club expectedly, and in return, Barca gaining their 70 to 80 million, and how the club should use that. If that money does indeed come in, things could change, like I say. It's not 100% confirmed, but the signs are this, that De Jong is leaving Barca. I will see you soon, of course. There's going to be a lot more to come. Plenty of reaction here. Over, of course, as well, on the main channel. This is not going to go away. A massive story tonight. But let me know your thoughts, because there will be a lot of opinion. Thanks for watching, guys. And as always, for your fantastic support. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.